Alright, warm-up problem number 1. Okay, answer for the warm-up problem is 12. Number 2. Alright, answer for this one is 1. Number 3. Alright, answer for this one is 40. Number 4. Alright, answer for this one is 30. Number 5. Alright, answer for this one is 81. Go ahead and bring up your number for the lottery. Alright, today's lottery numbers are 2 and 8. Homework check. Go ahead and take it to Mr. Skinner. Alright, answers for 1 through 3. Y equals 2x plus 2, negative 3x plus 4, and negative 2x minus 3. Alright, answers are y equals 5x minus 2, y equals 4x minus 6, and y equals negative 6x plus 2. Alright, answers are y equals 3x minus 7, y equals 8x minus 6, and y equals x squared plus 6. Okay, answers are y equals x squared minus 3, y equals x squared minus 5, and y equals 2x squared plus 4. Okay, answers are y equals 6x squared minus 5, y equals 3x squared plus 1, and y is equal to 4x squared plus 7. Alright, questions on the homework? I don't think there are any papers to pass back today. If you need to make up a test, you can come in 6th period. Alright, our objective for today is 9th grade patterns, functions, and algebra number 4. Our learning target is we're going to graph a function, the following variations: y equals negative 5, x equals 3, y equals x plus 2, y equals x, negative x minus 4, y equals 3x plus 1, and y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Okay, for the first example, we have y is equal to 2. So we have our graph. When y is equal to 2, we put our point on y is equal to 2 when x is 0. So our point goes right there on the y-axis. And our line just goes straight across, horizontally. At this point, no matter what your x is, your y is always going to be equal to 2, and that's how we graph that function, okay? For the second example, we have x is equal to negative 3. So we have our graph. We plot our point at x is equal to negative 3. When y, no matter what y is, x is always going to be equal to negative 3. So our point is just going to be vertical, or our line is just going to be vertical. Any questions? Okay, for the practice problem, go ahead and do y is equal to 4. Our practice problem is y is equal to 4. So we find our y is equal to 4 points. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our point. Whoops. Okay. And then we draw our horizontal line. Arrows on both ends, and that should be our graph. The answer for this one should be 1. Alright, practice problem number 2. Alright, we're graphing x is equal to negative 1. We'll go to our x-axis and we find our point at negative 1. And remember, our x is going to be a vertical line. So that's what our function should look like. Okay, answer for the bonus is 4. Oops. Alright, example problem number 3. We have y is equal to x minus 2. First thing we need to notice about this is this number right here. This is our y-intercept. This is the number we're going to start with. This is going to be the number we're going to start with on the y-axis. And then our slope right here. What's the number next to an x if there's no coefficient?
1.
Right. So that's a 1 right here. Alright, and, oops, okay. A 1x, this is going to be the same as 1 over 1. This is going to help you graph it. It'll be a lot easier if you can picture it as a 1 over 1. A number over another number. The top number is our rise. If you picture that as a rise over run. And this will make sense after I graph it. Just remember this, y is on top, the x is on the bottom. So what we do, we have y is equal to x minus 2. Our minus 2 is our y-intercept. Remember, if it has a minus sign in front of it, that means it's a negative 2. We go to our y-axis, and we graph our point at negative 2. Next, we want to find another point on this graph. To do that, we're going to take our slope, which is the number in front of the x. If it's a 1 in front of the x, that means our slope is 1 over 1. Because 1 over 1 is just 1, right? If it was a 2 in front of the x, that would be 2 over 1. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is our slope right here. What we're going to do is we go up 1 and over 1. The y is on top, the x is on bottom. So if it's a positive 1, we go up 1 right here. And then we have to go to the right one because the x on the bottom is also positive. It's 1 over 1, so we go up 1 and over 1. That's another point that's on our graph. We can put another point on it too by going up 1 and over 1 again. Alright, and then we just connect all of our points and to make the line. Does that make sense? No? We'll do a couple more examples. I'll write some out if I need to. Alright, we have y is equal to negative x plus 3. This is our y-intercept, so we're going to graph our y-intercept first on our y-axis. We have a negative x, which means that's a negative 1 x, or negative 1 over 1. If you just have a number in front of the x that's a coefficient, put it over 1, and that'll give you your slope.
It's always going to be over 1.
It's not always going to be over 1. If you have a fraction in front of it, which we'll get to later, say it's 1 over 2, then that would be your slope. And what you do is, whatever number's on the top, that's how far we go down or up on the y-axis. The number on the bottom, that's going left or right on the x-axis. Hold on. It'll make sense in a second. It'd be easier if I just do it. Okay, so what we start with is our plus 3. So that means we're going to go to our y-axis and plot 3. Next, we have our negative x, which is negative 1 over 1. Remember, the negative 1, or whatever number is on top, that's what we do with our y. So that means we're going to move it on the y-axis. That's what this number is for. So it's a negative 1, which means we're going to move it down 1. The bottom number is how far we move it on the x-axis, and it's a positive 1, so we move this over 1 to the right. Remember, we're going right for positive, left for negative on the x-axis. And the y is the same way, except you're going up for positive and down for negative. So if we have a negative 1 on top for our slope, that means we're going to start with our point, our y-intercept. We're going to go down 1 because it's a negative 1. The x is going to be the number on the bottom. That means we go over 1 because it's a positive 1. And we do the same thing again to find another point. We go down 1, and then we go over 1. So these 3 points right here are going to be our line. Those 3 points right there. Start with your y-intercept. You just follow the slope. This is your y, this is your x. This is telling you to go down 1 on the y-axis. This is telling you to go over to the right 1 on your x-axis. Did I say x for this one? I meant y. Okay. Sorry about that. Top is the y. Just remember, rise over run. Is this making sense? It's a negative 1, so that means on the y-axis, you're moving it on this axis right here. To move it negative 1, we go down 1. See how the negative numbers are down here? Positive numbers are up here. If it was a positive 1, we'd go up 1. So we're going down 1, and then the bottom number is a 1. Your bottom is how far you move it on the x-axis, so we're going over 1. Yeah? Y is equal to x plus 1. Alright, remember we want to start with our number that we have over here. It's a positive 1. That's going to be our y-intercept. That's the number that we're going to plot on the y-axis. It's a positive 1, so we just go up 1, plot our point. Okay, now we have a 1 in front of our x, which means we can just put that over 1. That's going to be our rise and our run. So it's a positive 1 on top, which means we go up 1. A positive 1 on the bottom, which means we go to the right 1. And then we can do that again, up 1 to the right 1. Now we just need to connect our points.
Can you only have 2 points?
No, you can only have 2 points. If you just want to plot 2 points, that's fine, as long as you just connect them right. And it makes it a straighter line if you do more than 1 point. You guys can go ahead and come back up for if you want the graph paper. You should only need 2 sheets.